Hey folks, welcome back to Only the Best Fantasy Novels. My name is Robin, and today I'm coming to you with a review of a self-published fantasy novel, something I don't really touch much on this channel, unfortunately, because I'm fairly new to it. Like I've been burned a lot by self-published fantasy in the past, and thankfully, this is not one of those cases. The book I'm discussing today is Never Die by Rob J. Hayes, which is a standalone within his Mortal Techniques series. I'm not gonna lie, the only reason I picked up this book was because it first caught my attention with that Broken Binding. I think it was Broken Binding at least. Fancy special edition that was done for it. And then I saw it's inspired by Japanese culture, and I'm a sucker for that. If your book has samurai in it and that kind of stuff, I'm there. It's not a coincidence that the only two self-published fantasy novels I've tried so far are Sword of Kaigen and this. But anyway, moving on. What is Never Die about? The Emperor of Ten Kings basically he's pretty much plunged the land of Hosa into chaos and turmoil and war. He solidified his rule, and the people essentially they starve and suffer under him. There's degradation, all about that kind of stuff. The usual things, all the usual terrible stuff. For an unknown reason, a Shinigami decides to resurrect a child, an 8-year-old child named Ain, I believe his name would be how his name is pronounced. And he tasks him with eliminating the Emperor once and for all. How is an 8-year-old child supposed to achieve this? Well, Ain is given the ability to resurrect heroes from the past, people from the past, and bind them to him. Bind them in a way that they have no choice but to serve him. And in exchange for that, they'll be granted a second lease on life. They'll be fully because they're not brought back fully alive, but they will be granted a full second lease on life if they succeed. And the story is pretty much exactly that. Ain sets out to gather these heroes, but the problem is some of them may need killing first before he can bind them, resurrect them, and bind them. So yeah. What did I think of this novel? So this is campy wuxia at its finest. I don't know if this is intentional on Rob J. Hayes' part, or if this is just the usual Westerner, lack of knowledge and just fusing everything, of just throwing random everything together and assuming it's all one culture, whatever. Into the bag, but this world is very much a world. I spotted elements of Japanese culture, I spotted elements of Chinese culture, just intermixed and used willy nilly here and there. So it's not inspired by one so much as both. It's very much like an 80s wuxia fantasy movie, in that the team Ain assembles, they all have these ridiculous powers. They're all unique and special in their own way. Each has something they contribute to the team that that's their skill set. One is this war's equivalent of a samurai. One's a bandit. We have a martial artist, and just these different. They each contribute something different to the team in terms of their skill set. The characters, they're given how short and fast-paced and punchy this book is, I was actually pleasantly surprised at how well the characters are drawn out. Not just this core cast of characters, but even some of the side ones. As we progress through the novel, we meet some side characters who they're important people to some of the characters, and they get their little time they get their little time under the sun, their little screen time, and in that short time they make an impression. They make a good impression. One character in particular, I believe, actually appears in one of the other stories. He didn't appear in much of a significant capacity in this one, other than I guess to add a little emotional depth to the story. But yeah, good characters. The writing is fun, fast paced. It's not like it's not like the best prose out there, but it's not the worst. Like it's functional. It gets the job done. It could have been written better. It could have been written a lot worse, given that this is self-published. We're dealing with here. It gets the job done essentially. This kind of novel, you don't exactly pick it up expecting like Othello or something like that. I very much came into this wanting a popcorn read, and that's what I'm getting. So I'm perfectly fine with the bag I'm getting for my buck here. Yeah, in terms of like the act, like this book is just ram-packed with action from start to finish. There's just like a bunch of battles throughout, not just like pretty much constant fighting throughout with a few different things, because like some of the heroes, they need to die before they can be resurrected. In other cases, like they face dangers as they face opposition to this plan to kill the emperor, and of course in the actual climax of the book, like there's a big battle that goes down and these kind of things. Like it's fun. That's really all you sign up for with this book. Like it's just fun. It's fast paced. It's frenetic. Yeah, like if you've seen like any of those old 80s, 90s Wuxia movies, where like think of like House of Flying Daggers or Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, these kind of movies, you get the gist of what you're kind of signing up for here. Yeah, that I think all in all, it was a very pleasant reading experience. I didn't expect to have my mind blown. It wasn't. I didn't expect to terribly hate this. I didn't. I'm not quite sure what I think of the climax, to be honest. Like how this book, the big twist at the end, because there is a pretty huge twist. I think personal mileage will vary with that in particular. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about Never Die. Like I did buy the Heroic Age trilogy. So I have the other two books. I'll get to them at some point. But yeah, great taste at Rob J. Hayes. Like I get why he's frequently mentioned as like one of the self-published. I guess you could call him a booktube darling in that like he's frequently mentioned as one of the better self-published authors out there. And based on this, I won't say like I'm gonna drop immediately everything and read his books, but I can see myself picking them up from time to time, especially the other two books in his Mortal Techniques. And if anything else he writes happens to catch my attention, I'll probably pick it up at some point, if I see it cheap on Kindle or something. But yeah, fun, entertaining, light. It doesn't take itself too seriously, but it's not very light-hearted either. I guess if this sounds like your kind of jam, go for it. Essentially. And yeah, that's my thoughts on Never Die by Rob J. Hayes. If you've made it this far into the video, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you when I see you.